Human trafficking. We're doing human trafficking. So hard.
You're the human traffickers?
We're gonna go kidnap some people.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty intense.
Moving, come on, people.
I don't know what to move. You guys are
30 seconds to move all of these chairs and everything over there.
okay. For this table too? I think I'm developing that syndrome. I tend to like my kidnapping.
That's not real.
I like you guys. Alright.
You've all been victims of human trafficking, which derives from child labor, illicit international adoptions.
Volume.
It's like the same song.
You guys can hear that.
Child, $50 to $1,000. She can sell them each day, every day, over and over and over again. The markup is immeasurable. Human trafficking, ladies and gentlemen, is the business of the future.
Alright guys, so human trafficking, it consists of a lot of things, a lot of different things. And I personally decided to pick up kids soldiers. Now I can do a little report on it. And the reason that I found this really interesting is because my dad was in the army by the age of 14. He left until he was 21. He was in El Salvador, in Central America. He was there during the Civil War. And me and him don't really talk. I've met him like at least 7 times in my life. And I actually decided to talk to him this one time to talk to him about this. And it's really interesting everything he told me. He talked about how he was recruited by the guerrillas, which is the people that were fighting the government. The reason that they decided to fight the government was because, I mean, they were just really corrupted. They didn't give any power to the people. They just used them as personal slaves. And he told me how he had to leave, and all the kids that left, they didn't get kidnapped. They went by themselves. It was kind of an honor to fight for your families. What the guerrillas did was they said that they would give you food, they would give you money, they would give you land, and that's what everybody was fighting for, you know. Most of these kids that you see, they're not kidnapped. They all fight for what they believe in. They fight because they've actually had brothers or sisters die in the war, people that have been raped. And it's really sad to say, but my dad told me that he actually had to kill kids. he actually had a party of people. And so they would go to villages and just make sure that there wasn't any bombs in there. He talked about how they would starve the kids. They starved the kids so that they would lose all hope. So there was no way for them to feel like they could escape. I mean, this is the government, but the government would also kidnap the kids. You know, it was on both sides. The kids were on both sides.
Across the borders, so there's like hundreds of thousands or more inside borders that are trafficked that they can't get the statistics for. And each year, $9.5 billion is made off of trafficking humans. And behind the drug and arms trade is the fastest growing criminal activity. And the places that people are usually trafficked from are regional imbalances, economic disparities, social discrimination, corrupt governments, and political instability, armed conflicts, where they like fight for child soldiers or stuff and stuff. Growing the marginalization of the poor, insufficient penalties against the traffickers. The people who traffic the kids, sometimes they only serve like 2 years if they're caught, and they can just go back out and do it again because there's like no laws preventing it. And the people, it's all driven by demand. The demand for like labor, prostitutes, child soldiers is extremely high, so it's very profitable. Thank you.
I did sex trafficking, and that's one of the worst kind because they take anyone of any age. Like, they take men, women, children, and they force them they sell the virgins, like Willie was saying. They sell the virgins because they're worth more value, and they don't see them as people because they are just dollars to them. They aren't really worth anything as humans. They're profit, and that's all they see. And a lot of effects come from being trafficked, and there's a lot of physical effects, like you can get HIV, of course, and AIDS and gonorrhea, and drug and alcohol addiction, because they addict you to drugs and alcohol, so you become more dependent on them. And they tell you that you owe them for bringing them into the country, because usually they are trafficked from other countries and brought into here, and then they say, oh, well, you owe us now, so you're going to work for us at strip clubs and porn stores and stuff. And some of them develop Stockholm syndrome, so they actually become attached to their captors. And even though, like he was saying, there's about 600 to 800,000 people trafficked, that's only like recorded, and a lot of people don't come forward and say, hey, I'm being trafficked, like, because they're scared, and they're being threatened by like violence and abuse, and they are reliant on their captors because they provide them with food and shelter and everything. So
in 1 year, human trafficking makes up to $8 to $9 billion. The Snickers company, the money that they make by Snickers, like all the chocolate bars that you see the people buy every day, is only $2 billion a year. So that's how many people are actually getting trafficked, and you don't ever think about it, you never see it. I mean, it's just so low down, you know. Horrible thing.
it happens every day.
Child labor it could be, you know, kids who are trafficked into different countries. It could be, you know, even like a poor family in like a third world country. You know, the children are held responsible for family income. There's also wars in which they need soldiers, and if they can't have enough soldiers that are adults, then, you know, they have to use somebody to fight the war. So, you know, children are unfortunately set in that category. So, and child labor is you know, it's a serious problem, and it's depressing to see kids out there making soccer balls for 20 cents a ball, or doing intense or exploitative labor. And that could be, you know, anywhere from mining, quarrying, manufacturing, agriculture, domestic services, working in hotels and restaurants, retail, and what's considered unconditional worst forms of child labor, which is prostitution.
What is this?